Hey guys, I'm Ben,
I'm Kenny.
and we're ready, set, eek. We went to a tournament today, a set championships.
We paid $35 each.
I got 31st place
I got 30 place.
out of 31 players.
That's right.
I went 0-3 drop. What deck did you play, Kenny?
I think I played Edmund Chius deck.
What went wrong? How'd you get 30th place?
I don't know how to play Disney Lorcana.
What'd you do? Tell me about your cards.
I think I played a Ruby Amethyst control deck that was based off of Edmund Chius deck.
Yeah.
We didn't run any genies
Why not?
because you get more value from the rabbit.
Good idea.
So starting off here,
You're starting from the back.
I'm starting from the back. You have 4 Be Prepareds. And it was really funny. In one of my matches, I got to play 3 of them back to back. It was a hyper aggro build, and I just played them constantly. Then we got 4 brawls here. It was a great answer to high rooms. I ran into a lot of high rooms. And I saw Ed save them, so I started to save them for the high rooms. We had 2 Sisus here. She did pretty good. I don't think I cleared as many boards as I wanted to, but she did some work.
Did you clear any boards?
Not with Sisu. A lot of heavy hitters were out today. Was it Team Medusas? Pretty good.
I thought Ed had tremaines in his deck. Why do you have medusas?
I think we're short on tremaines over here.
We are.
So we got 2 tremaines to go along with the medusas. And it wasn't too bad. I liked using the medusas too. And then here we got 4 hand sisus. I learned that's what people called it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Hand sisus.
I call her 3-drop sisu, but hand sisu makes sense.
Yeah. So it came in handy a lot. I got to take a... I didn't even know what I said. They registered after you laughed. Took out Maui with Sisu. That was cool. Flynn Riders.
I hardly know her.
I always try to get Flynn Rider to work with Sisu. And a lot of times it missed. Flynn Rider was a big target for people.
How would they get rid of them?
I think Brawls and is it Sisu? The human Sisu?
I want to banish this one strong character. So block it first.
It was ice blocked, and then also the steel songs. Steel songs hit him hard. It looks like removing an amethyst with friends on the other side worked well. I got to sing it a lot with Sisu.
With this sisu?
Yeah, the hand Sisu.
Handy one?
Yeah, it came in handy. Let's see, here we got 4 libraries, and everyone definitely wanted to shut down my libraries, but it did work. In the mirror matches, it was cool to see how other people use libraries. I am obviously not using this deck to its full utilization, so that was a thing. Goats. I think there's not much to it for goat. It's just a bunch of free lore. Rabbits were tough. They were really good. They a lot of bouncing with that. And even self be prepareds helped a lot with the rabbit. So that was cool. So we got 2 crabs here. Worked pretty well. It was a great ink card. I use it a lot for ink. But it came in handy a couple times. Fox, your bounce rush, was a pretty solid card. It made a lot of people stop. Think about it. You got 4 snakes here. It's a cheaper bounce card that worked well when I wanted to save something. I saw a lot of people bounce like their tremaines and stuff, and I never got to that point of being able to bounce.
You're thinking 2 steps ahead.
I know. You got 4 Diablos here. Banished to get a card. Pretty good. Was able to burn Diablo a lot easier, and then like these Chernobyls, because they always destroyed Chernobyls before I could quest. And then topping it off with Brooms. Brooms is cool to be able to cycle really fast and just play a card right after if you needed to. And so this was the Ruby Amethyst deck that I got 30th place with.
Where were your Elsas?
There's no Elsa's in this deck.
Where were your Maui's hero to all?
I did not find any Maui's in this deck.
Why not?
I thought I could be Ed, and I wasn't Ed.
What decks did you play against?
The first one was a mirror match against a good friend of mine who I'm heavily intimidated to play. He's really good. And so I actually got to learn a lot in the first match playing against him that prepared me for my next matches, which was cool. And then my second round was a Ruby Sapphire. And so that one I felt tech pretty well against. I got to stop Hiram a lot, which was cool. And then I was able to lose to Tamatoa with like 5 items on board. And then my third round was actually like a hyper steel aggro. So I had to deal with Daisy and Smee, and that was pretty tough. But one of the matches was actually pretty dominant, I think because it went later in the game. So this deck definitely showed out against him in that one. But he was stupid fast. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Kenny.
What'd you do today?
I got 31st place at a set championships trying to win a scar.
What'd you play getting 31st?
I played Emerald Steel. I played Zan Syeds list from the Nationals. Except I made a couple of changes because I didn't have all the cards. So I'm going to run you through the list.
All right.
We'll talk about what went wrong.
Definitely.
I had 2 merfolks, but it was supposed to be 4 merfolks. So instead of the other 2 merfolks, I substituted it with Fred because Fred can also get you lore when he's challenged. Like this one gives you good stuff when it's challenged. It makes your opponent discard. And this one gives you more lore when it's challenged. So I thought it could be a good substitution. It's what I had, so it's what I did. The times where I had Fred, he was able to quest for quite a few because people just like save their brawls and other stuff. They're like board wipes to get them. So Fred was pretty good. And then Chris Merfolk, they always like use their brawls on that. I had one person challenging the Merfolk today to discard it. I went 0-3, if I didn't say that. I went 0-3 drop, so I got 2-0 a couple times, and then we got out of there.
That's right.
That's right. I had 4 Diablos, the Maleficent Spy, the best 1-drop that you could put down. It gives you the hand knowledge, lets you know what they're going to do, lets you see if they have the brawl. And then the best thing to do is to shift on turn 2. You want to shift into Diablo Devoted Herald. We got 4 of those. We like them. If they ever let our bird live, we won those games because we can just draw cards. If it's exerted on their turn, they draw a card. We had a person playing red-blue against us, and they let us draw so many cards with Hiram. Like they banished a popsicle, draw 2 cards, and then we got to draw 2 cards. The games that we had 2 birds on board that drew us cards, we won. I played against a Blurple in my second round, and the Blurple let me draw a whole bunch too with their Genie. I had a loop where they play the Genie, and then I bounced the Genie back to their hand with their Muse, and then they play their Genie again the next turn. Like, yeah, they get to draw a card, but I had 2 exerted Diablos, so I got to draw 2 cards. So it was a good deal. We'll talk about the Muse later. This is the Ursula. This is the double singer one. And she was always just target. She always got taken off the board. She didn't get to do her thing, I think, ever. I think I got to sing with her once, Let the Storm Rage On. But the song that I really want to double sing with her is I'm Still Here. It's a new steel card from Azurite Sea. And it says, chosen character gains resist +2 until the start of your next turn. And you get to draw a card. So if you double sing this with Ursula, you get to draw 2 cards, and you get to give 2 chosen characters resist +2, which was huge. I found with when I had the 2 Diablo Devoted Heralds on board, I also had an Ursula on board, and what I really wanted to do was sing this and have these exerted and give them both resist 2, and then if they played Elsa the Fifth Spirit, it only does 2 damage, and then I resisted it. And I wanted to do that so bad, but they knew that's what I wanted to do, so they shut that down. So that's Ursula. That's what we had her doing. We also had this Ursula. Gives you hand knowledge when you play her. It's a good card for sure. Zan Syed went to a 3 of her, and so I just followed suit, just played his list, and I think it worked. Like, there's lots of times in this deck, it's running 20, and mine has 17 uninkables because I had to substitute a few cards, like the Fred is inkable, where it should have been Merfolk, which is uninkable. So this deck has 20 uninkables, which is weird. So there's lots of times where I got to 3 ink, then I would use all 3 ink, and then this, like I get up to 5 ink, then I play like a P in this, but you should play this first and then a P. But we'll talk about that. And then the Go-Go Tamago, the amount of times that my opponent feared that I had the Go-Go Tamago, like they weren't loading up any damage. They chose not to challenge my characters so they wouldn't have damage on it, so I couldn't Go-Go. I found myself wanting way more copies of Go-Go. Like, she's always pretty good. Like, if you pay the 4 ink to use her extra ability, you pay 2 and then 2 extra to use her ability, you can get a whole bunch of lore. I used it to do 3 lore on a Genie. I used Strength of the Raging Fire, which is another song card and steel. I used Strength of the Raging Fire to do 3 damage to a Genie because I had 3 characters on board. And then I put down a Go-Go Tamago, and then I had one of my characters sing Let the Storm Rage On to finish off the Genie. So, like, I could have just double sang and got rid of the Genie would let the Storm Rage on, but I didn't. I ended up putting 3 damage onto it and then playing the Go-Go. And I thought that was a cool play, but it wasn't enough. The Prince John, always super good. They can't remove this thing if you don't quest it. Questing it's the problem. You don't want to quest it in Ruby if they have 4 ink and are going to 5 ink and are going to play a Maui here to haul. Don't want to quest it. Questing this, John, usually a problem. We got 3 Muses. I think Zan Syeds might have played 4 Muses. Maybe I'm off a card. But Muses, always super good. The Hypnotize, always hit with the Johns. I think I had 2 Johns on board, and I played a Hypnotize, and that's drawing 3 cards with John. Always a good deal. The Sudden Chill is usually a good bounce back card if you have enough Johns on board. If you have 2 Johns on board, play a Sudden Chill. They discard a card, and you draw 2 cards. Super good. The Hidden Cove saved my Diablo once, only once, from the Elsa Fifth Spirit, tapping it and going into it. The Calhoun is another one that I had to substitute the card of. Zan Syeds, I think, ran 3 of these. I had 2 on me, so that's what I did, and then I substituted it with a Mr. Smee because it's almost the same thing. It's a 3/3. This is a 3/2, and it only costs 2, and it's inkable. So I thought that this was a pretty good, similar card to substitute in. And then we also just regularly ran Smee. Smee is a good card. He can quest for 2, and then he's also a big body. You can do some damage back. We had 2 copies of Doc, and Doc actually hit a lot this tournament. I was able to just play Doc and then refill my hand, draw 2, and then I'd usually get a discard card, and then Prince John would let me draw some more cards when I use it. The Pete saved me so many times. The amount of times where I would turn 2, shift the Diablo is the dream, and then turn 3, you don't want to get brawled, so you put down the Pete, and then they can't brawl. They can't seal the Azurite Sea. They can't do this stuff. I had one game where I had Diablo at Hidden Cove for the first thing, and then they did Hideaway, which is a blue action card that puts a location into the inkwell. Where's the location? It's here somewhere. It was at the Hidden Cove, and I thought that I was going to survive at Elsa because I put it there. But then they did Hideaway, which is a 2-cost action that puts this into the inkwell, and then it made it so this is vulnerable. Yeah, where am I going? Oh, but because they put another card into my inkwell, I had enough ink the next turn to play a Pete to keep him safe again. So it was a good deal all around. But I still went 3-0. I don't know if I'm not getting the hang of it. Definitely made some misplays. Definitely want to play Ursula's to get hand knowledge before doing other stuff. Yeah, I played against a red-blue, a blurple, and another red-blue. And we went 0-3 drop. We're going to play again in another set championships. And I might do this deck or I might do Kenny's deck. But either way, we're going to make friends along the way.